Hello, friends. Welcome to this podcast channel, Center of Excellence Pharma 4. Focus of this channel is to discuss about various emerging technologies, digital transformation, and Pharma 4. In this episode, which is focused on to data as strategic asset. It's a executive analytics in the age of Pharma 4. That's what is the objective of this particular episode. Before starting of the episode, let me give you a brief idea about what we do, what is our focus areas, and how it is helping pharma industry and technology partners to achieve business excellence. Center of Excellence Pharma 4 concept is developed by Dr. Jayan Joshi. For last 5 years, we are focusing on to how these various emerging technologies like cloud, artificial intelligence, machine learning, industrial Internet of Things, robotics, chatbot, blockchain, how these technologies are contributing to solve the pharma industry problems and help them in supporting their challenges to achieve operational and business excellence. You can find more information at our website respa.com. We have also designed and developed a course on smart manufacturing in pharma, which has got 20 modules, and you can pick and choose the module of your interest and then go on extending with other modules also. We have a YouTube channel which was started about 5 years back, has got around more than 335 videos as on today. And this again covers up the entire process, starting from business strategy designing to going to audits and implementations and finding out the KPIs to see what has been really the benefits achieved into this entire process. We also have a podcast channel which you are now listening. This has got more than 65 episodes now, and this covers more on what is really happening in the industry. That is, recent developments into the technology, recent developments into the regulatory requirement, business challenges, and how we can really help to you to achieve those excellence. We have our books also, which are available onto Amazon Kindle and paperback. Right now, there are 5 books are there, which you can order it, and you will be getting those books that will also help you to generate your knowledge base and help you to achieve excellence. So let's start with the today's session. As you know, in a present scenario, data is a key component. It's a key resource which is really helping you to have a strategic asset. When I say strategic asset, it's helping you to take a correct decision. So our focus is data driven decision making. That is what is its most important thing. And your analytics help with the help of artificial intelligence, machine learning to take a correct action, which will really help you to improve your decision, and that will help in improving productivity, performance, profitability. Let's get it into more details about the agenda. My agenda today is introduction, transformative capabilities of Pharma 4, data management into pharmaceutical organizations, data governance framework, executive analytics in decision making, developing a data strategy for achieving Pharma 4. Role of Chief Data Officer, how is going to drive this entire process. Breaking down the data silos, like old systems where those analog uh, sy- systems were there, the data was stored into the silos, and how now we are moving to a seamless data exchange, data sharing, data integration. Leveraging artificial intelligence and machine learning, future directions and conclusion. So let's start with an overview. The importance of the data in pharmaceutical industry is that data is driving the innovation and operational excellence. You have to see now how your present procedures, systems they are moving and how that data is getting analyzed and what it can really help you to identify either a shortcoming or the good achievement and how those good achievements can be replicated. So if there are any shortcomings are there, how you will achieve them, to explore them, to change them, to initiate them, to rectify them, to achieve the operational excellence. And this helps you to provide a competitive advantage. Now we are really looking from transitioning to Pharma 4. As I mentioned earlier, is now we are moving from the analog systems to digital system. We are looking for more automation. And this is where we involve about uh, various intelligent systems by using those emerging technologies. We are looking for effective data utilization. So the organizations are creating, generating all the data, but that data has to be treated as a asset. And now we have to really look how we can do those assets analysis for advancements onto the processes and the better decision making. So executive analysis is most important thing which helps to leverage the data as a strategic asset, which helps you to drive or correct the decisions with creation of the strategy and all. Now, Pharma for there are requirement which is working on to the industry for principle, which is actually requires the interconnection, automation, and integration with the intelligent ecosystems. So that is what is the focus on to the Pharma 4. Now, why we should do Pharma 4 is basically it helps in enhancing the product quality, reduces the time to market, ensure the compliance with the evolving regulation, and the technologies which are used is cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things. These are the main core technologies which are being used right now. Now, coming to the advanced modeling and simulation, you have to think about it how it can really help to accelerate the drug development, reduces the time to market. That's basically when they are looking for the complete digital supply chain management. The customers or the patient, they require a particular product at a particular specific time with a quality, with a quantity, at a competitive rates. All those are to be really taken into consideration and how your entire system will help you to with a faster response to the market demands and all that. And now there are additive manufacturing, lot of new things, new technologies are coming up for drug developments, scaling up your production timelines and improving the market adaptability and all that. This will help you to move from the digital maturity to the Pharma 4 or Industry 4 maturity level. As normally we say ki there are about 5 maturity levels have been defined. So the first initial stage, which are old system from the analog systems and all that, and then that will help you how you can go on building up the digital capabilities, which will give you an idea at what stage you stand in a digital maturity scale and all that. So digital maturity is a key facilitator. It will go on showing you where you stand and what are the should be the next steps and all that. It outlines the 6 phases, 5 to 6 phases and all that. And then those phases range from initial at a module level or a process level computerization going to the full adaptability of with the end-to-end integration or the compliance with the Pharma 4 requirements and all that. So modular production facilities are there which can enable the production of the end to the personalized medicines which we are really thinking. It can also support to the small batch production which are tailored to a specific individual or something like that. And that can align to help to make a very precision medicines and all that. So technology advancement, moving from cloud, IoT, analytics, blockchain, and that can help you to improve the traceability and transparency, and that will be achieving Pharma 4 requirement with the supporting the all the regulatory requirements and improving the process parameters and achieving the productivity performance and all that. So as I was talking earlier about that uh, maturity, digital maturity index. Now you have to see the current state of the your data management. All pharmaceutical company they call generating a vast amount of the data. This is where many companies are data rich, but they are poor in data management or decision making based on to the accurate data and all that. So these are the challenges how effectively you use that data into analytics. So if you look at it, the old system, there were old data silos were there, and then that data was often locked into a incompatible silos. That means that data cannot be shared with other silos or something like that. So movement was not there, data sharing was not there, data integrity was not there, and all. So digitization can actually exacerbate the issue of creating the new repositories and no governance of the gaps is there. Those can be bridged up around that. And nearly 70% is present systems they lack in those governance, which is what is requiring the issues onto the quality and security. So there is always a dark data that means it is collected, but it is not effectively utilized and all that. So it is unavailable for any decision making. So these are the challenges are there. Now, looking to the value proposition of the data as a strategic tool to the management, no? The importance of that data management is really increasing. A lot of awareness has come up. At how it can help in critical decision making and all that. So there are scientific data based on to your drug discovery, the quality data, their production data into your manufacturing execution system, which improves the operational efficiencies and also helps in the regulatory compliance. So data driven benefits have now been understood. So it needs to enhance your decision making and it increases profitability or whatever the earlier challenges of there, that revenue losses and compliance risk, those are being rectified and that helps you better results and all that. Now this data is also helps in regulatory requirements. So it ensures that drug safety, maintains efficacy, guarantees the quality, it maintains the data required as per the FDA guidelines or EMA guidelines and all. And it compared the Operational performance and regulatory requirement. Both are, as I mentioned earlier, also that data integrity is now becoming very important thing. And now with this emerging technologies, the data sharing is there, and that is how that data has got a better value, and data has become a solid, strong assets. Now, when we are really looking how that effective data governance still can be developed. So what are those components are there? So here I mentioned about four components. The first is the integration and the ownership. Now, so that a lot of data is getting generated at each process stage around. So somebody has to really take ownership of the data. It has to think about its own life cycle, the data capture, data storage, data analytic, data decision making, and all that. So entire process and systems requires the integrity at that siloed level, and then extending it to the other level. So complete seamless data sharing will be there. Now you have to also think when you're looking at it for the data sharing, how that design will be there. So you have to improve onto your design, your data structures, and you have to use those appropriate technologies, and data management experts can really help in those cases and all. And then that will be shared with the organizations and technical control. You have different hardware, softwares into the complete system. Maybe if you're looking at it on integrated solutions also, you may be using IoT like structures where you can generate the data, share the data and all. And then this requires a good strong commitment from the management, no? Because this requires a lot of efforts and clarity, and then those are type of experts who will have a complete vision of the data sharing, data decision making, and all that. So then there are some of those life cycle stages have been shown over here. The first one is, of course, is the generation, so it creates the data. The next one is the processing, so it transforms the data for the use. Third is the reporting. It's a presenting of the data findings. It may be about inventory, it may be about quality, it may be about production, it may be about maintenance. So, and then you have to ensure that verification that data is accurate. So you can take a decision based on to that data. Then comes the use of for the decision making. Then the data storage is required, safekeeping of the data. Then disposal of the data. Some of the data may be irrelevant or something like that. And then system transitioning. That is basically moving that data from paper-based system to the digital format for better sharing and all that. And again, it across the departments and all that. And governance but operative work is to be thought about it. Then we move to the next step of analytics. That how it will help executives for the decision support system. I always mention that it has to be a data driven decision making. So that importance for executives that analytics is more important. It could be relevant to the product batch, or it could be relevant to the equipment and downtime, or predictions of expected preventive maintenance or something like that. So your strategic decisions are based on to the data, and that helps to accelerate and optimize the production at the manufacturing level. It may be also required onto the clinical trials data, that is also required. It will also help you into the drug efficacy. It may be relevant into marketing research data to work out the demand forecasting or any market research strategies which can help you for planning up the next phases of your marketing plans and all that. And finally, it helps into the entire supply chain management. So that start from the demand planning, supply planning, operations planning, and there's actual executions, and finally delivering the product to the customer or the patients and all that. So these are the analytics which are going to help. Now, management or the decision makers also require to have a dashboards. No, a visualization really helps to take a right decision. You need not have to spend too much of a time in doing the data analysis and all. So visual analysis helps to see the identify the trends, access the risk or any new opportunities are to be there and all that. And then multiple data resources of where it is the coming up and all that can help you to take a holistic views for the better decision making and all. Now, what is important over here is that as I mentioned it to you, some of the data structures, data benefits, and all that. You have to analyze the data to build up a strategy which will match with your business objectives. See, you may have a business objectives to achieve a particular sales target or achieve a particular on time in full quantity about the deliveries, or you may plan to achieve the certain quality structures, or you may have about the profitability or product batch cost or something like that. So you may have a different business objective. So how this data is going to support to that particular business objective, that you will have to really start looking and thinking about it. You may be also having a plan for a brand building, brand goals will be there. So your data acquisition, data analysis, everything needs to be focused onto that particular strategy. This is where I gave a title that data as a strategy, it's to be thought about it. And then that will yield meaningful data analysis and then help you in achieving the desired expected result. So operational diversity into the companies will move from R&D, manufacturing, commercial applications and everything. So your strategy should have an integration of all that. It should really capture the data value from all the departments and should maintain the enterprise-wide alliance actually. So some of the components from this comprehensive data strategies are tried to mention it over here. So as I was talking in the last slide is you have to have that vision or those strategic objectives, which should be uh, clearly drawn. So data-driven organizations should be thought about it. It should accelerate the drug discovery, it should optimize the clinical trial, it should support the regulatory compliances and patient care. Then when we come to the manufacturing side, data governance and compliance should be there. Data ownership should be taken up by somebody. And then you need to have a good data architecture and infrastructure. And you use all the data, utilize and all that. And then a culture of using the data is to be really built up. Now you have to draw a plan for this implementation. We have really done a good homework about what are the phases which we'll have to go through it. So here I'm showing us some three phases. The first is of foundation phase, which may take us 0 to 6 months to decide about the data governance, its framework, how it can be go on conducting those assessment, basic data compilation, creation, storage, what we have seen in the 7 steps over there. Then come the expansion thing, how you are going to scale up on the data, integration of into a particular department, into other departments and all that, and how you are going to implement the analytics by using those use cases and all that. And finally comes to a maturity phase where it may take maybe 18 to 36 months, that means 1.5 years to 3 years, that this particular data is used by using artificial intelligence, machine learning for a decision making. It could be about machine utilization, production planning, or inventory control, or supplier evaluation. Many those use cases can be thought about it and all that. So now we think about it. A role of a chief data officer. We can have a chief data officer who will have his strategic value, how he want to really coordinate, control with all those different departments, train up those skills at the shop floor level, and how that advancement will take place from bridging up those cultural things, bridging up the hardware, software, the data compilation, data integration, and all that. And that will move from the CDO level to the CIO level. So, Chief Information Officer will have those all connections with all the department, all the stakeholders, all the operations, and all that. And that will be serving a complete supply chain management and connecting with the various business operations. See, in what has happened in this latest thing is businesses are expanded. They are not only at the geographies but at a global level also. And this is where the material movement, m- m- product movement, your customers movement has to be there, which is also increasing the risk, compliances, auditing, and all that, which needs to be thought process and all that. And that is where the chief data officer can really contribute to it. Now, as we discuss, the new technologies are also coming up. I mentioned during our initial discussions also that cloud-based solutions are helping data integrations and all that. So, cloud-based solutions are available, and you'll have to see how you can break down those data silos for seamless data sharing, how that seamless data will be stored onto the cloud, and how that cloud can help in sorting it out the data, data integrity, and how artificial intelligence and machine learning can help to sort out the data and help that analysis to the relevant stakeholders who can really take a necessary corrective decisions and all that. And this requires a comprehensive calculations and algorithm. And this is where, as I shown it over there, data can be fair. That's a findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. So these are the things which you will have to think about it, and that is where that this process harmonization will help to drive that efficiency at resource utilization, at plant utilization, and achieve the gains into productivity, performance, and all that. At the same time, you have to also plan for the future upgrades and transformation, because it's not a one day job, it's a continuous process job which goes on continuously improving the processes, data acquisitions, data analysis, decisions makings, and all that. So data catalog and metadata management is also there. And this enables the organization to discover, understand, and manage the data as an asset. So that is where we started this episode as data as a strategy, data as an assets, and all that. And then that metadata will be there, it will be maintained, it will be managed, and a centralized location will help all stakeholders to have that latest data, real-time data, accurate data available for their planning, their decision makings, and all that. And it will also support the compliances for FDA point of view. And now There are a lot of tools are available for managing the studies of your milestones, your characteristic, your strategic changes, or future planning about managements and all that actually. And this is what it is an objective. And this is I thought data can work as a s- strategy and all that. Artificial and machine learning is one of the application which is also going to contribute it in drug discovery and development, because that is again uses a huge volume of the data, and then artificial intelligence can analyze that biological data and give you some suggestions. Predictive analytics is going to be very useful tool in that actually. Clinical trials go on generating a huge amount of data based on to the patients and all that will be analyzed, and it will help to uh, have minimum clinical trials and get a better optimized research data. Manufacturing process optimizations is also available from manufacturing execution systems and all. And finally, it reaches to the sales and marketing when you are talking about the distribution, logistic, connecting from warehouse location to the patients and get all that inputs and all that. Now we have to also think about the small factor about the implementation. This is a not the whole process, it is a small factor, but it's a very important area, because only a successful implementation is going to drive the benefits. And this requires a substantial investment also into the talent and infrastructure. As I mentioned, that you have to have a hardware, software, connectivity, and all that. So that entire infrastructure needs to be built up. Your find solutions also requires the time to uh, decision making, placing the order, installing it, training, updating the data, and start getting the benefit. You have to build up a partnerships with hardware, software, implementer, even management consultants and everything. So this is the goals of about that implementation. Now, a very important role is also a cultural transformation or a success actually. Now, as we have discussed about artificial intelligence and machine learning, you have to think about the cultural transformation. Earlier, all the decisions were basically taken by the human based on to their memory. Now they have to shift to the data driven decision making, which is an important thing. So as I mentioned shown it over there, the shift from the data informed to the data driven decision, which is a mindsets and all that. And so you have to educate all those stakeholders the benefits from this actually, and they have to reach out or the come out from the data silos, from the barrier for a integration with the complete systems data with all stakeholders and all that. So that will unlock the very comprehensive insights and all that. So which requires a continuous implementation, continuous consistency, and new ideas about the machine learning applications are to be developed and all that. So what are those future directions? So the future directions are it's basically connecting uh, from database from patient journey to provide the complete engagement metrics and all that. Integrate the diagnostic treatments and behavioral data. Data spending and its utilization is also going to increase, because as we are capturing the data, every process, every activity requires some investment. And then that needs to be clarified. That needs to see that what are the benefits are expected. And those benefits are actually to be implemented. The decisions are to be followed. And how this will also help in some specialty products development or regulatory compliances was also to be thought about it. With all that basic discussions, I'm coming to a conclusion stage actually, where you have to think about the data governance framework needs to be built up. The data quality, integrity, compliances. So these are some of those factors which needs to be thought about it. Managing data throughout its a life cycle are to be considered. Breaking down those data silos, which is the main challenge over here when you move to the cloud-based technologies and all. And those analytic capabilities are to be developed. So starting from basic raw data to analytics data with AI or ML interfaces and all for actionable insights, which is more important. And this requires data strategies to be built up and a data driven culture has to be made up and all that. So hope I've been able to give you a brief idea how that data can be treated as a strategy, data can be treated as a big asset for your decision making and all. So you can also see some of those relevant videos onto our social platform. Feel free to share your thoughts, share your suggestions. Please do share with your network also. I'm quite sure this will be also useful to them. Thank you. Bye.